1-869-452 and 1-866-6775.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries. As we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots, you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We're doing our intriguing content today. Please join me in welcoming our featured guest and repeat offender. Mary Walters is in the house. Realty Pro 100, welcome.
Good morning.
Glad to have you with us. Then remind you, if you ever have any more finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you, and you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are no operators standing by. I am it.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan to save you money, I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And yes, of course, we celebrate every day on Ron Siegel Radio. Yes, some days are more exciting celebrations than others. Today is National Indiana Day. And not a lot of excitement on that one. National Button Day.
It is what it is.
Now, having beaten anorexia, I think I will stick with National Fast Food Day. That one will work for me, I think. Any kind of food, you know. As long as it's good food, I like good food. Go to get a good restaurant. What's your favorite fast food restaurant? Just put it right there in the commentary. See if we've even heard of it. Let's take a look at the markets for you today. Dow Jones now up 428 points. S&P 500 up 38. NASDAQ up 88, 89 points. Oil up $1.35 a barrel. The 10-year Treasury, it's up just slightly, not a whole lot, not enough to talk about. Watching all of these things for you. What's happening? Why is it happening? What's driving the market? Yeah, it's all about the virus. Once again, Moderna is in the news today. So if you're watching that at all, if you have stock in that one, Moderna was up before I came into the studio, about 11% today. All because of the virus. Yes, they've got a vaccine. Now, do you think vaccines do anything for anybody? I'm going to tell you the answer to that question is absolutely not. There's not a vaccine in the world that does anything, but maybe it is a vaccination that'll work. So think about that. If no one takes the vaccine, it's not going to do any good. So we are watching to see what happens with this vaccine. Now, they have 94.5% success rate on their version of the vaccine. Think about that concept, 94.5% success rate. And you don't have to keep the vaccine like Pfizer's. You have to keep in a deep freeze. Right, theirs has to be 80 degrees below 0 Celsius. Figure that one out. I mean, 80 below 0 Celsius. Moderna's vaccine, you can actually put it in the refrigerator, or it actually can sit out on the counter for a little while. So that might be a little bit better. But hey, if you get 20 million of each of them, the pharmacies or the hospitals will be doing the Pfizer vaccine. The rest of the world can use the Moderna vaccine. We haven't even seen what's coming out from AstraZeneca and J&J. So we're watching all of those. But the question is anybody going to take it? Right, and we watch over time, we start finding out that people stop taking vaccines. We're looking at a report this morning that was showing about an increase in measles. Why is there an increase in measles? Well, it's pretty simple. Stop taking the measles vaccine, and the cases of measles go up. So are you going to take the vaccine? I wonder about it. You look at this, it's got a 99% recovery rate. Already. That we've already seen. Now you've got a vaccine that's been on the market for just a few months. I see that there's a lot of folks that have taken it. They've had success with it. But what is the ramifications a year down the road, 2 years down the road? There's no way that anybody can possibly have that answer. So I might just watch and see what happens a little bit. you know something, I'm going to continue living my life and enjoying things. I know that there's people out there that say you have to hunker down, you have to hibernate, you have to take personal responsibility. That's just the way I look at these things. Not looking at the idea here, stop that, you guys. Don't give us the sheep today. I know a lot of people want to just follow what everybody has to say. But, you know, and listen, look at the difference. We've got Orange County here living our lives. Los Angeles, yeah, they're not quite living out there. They're all boarded up. I have some friends in Los Angeles that say you can't even go to the city anymore, that restaurants are closed, boarded up. Now, if you are one of the elite group, and I don't know how many people have ever looked at this, if you've gone to the French Laundry. No, it's not a laundromat. The French Laundry, probably one of the finest restaurants in the country. Right, if you want to go in there, you're looking at about $500-600 per person. That's for the cheap meals. You're looking at, if you want to bring a bottle of wine, corkage fee there, $150 a bottle. They don't want you to bring your own wine. But you know who's going there for dinner? Yeah, for a 50th birthday party. I know you're not supposed to, you and I are not supposed to have more than 10 people at any gathering, no more than 3 households. But if you're the governor of the state of Calizuela, yeah, you can go to the French Laundry with 20 people, friends, family, whatever. Now, think about this. 20 people going to the French Laundry for dinner has got to be about a $15,000 tab, maybe a little more. But hey, the governor can do that. That's okay. The rest of us, you know, we're just the peasants out here. We're not allowed to do that kind of stuff. Unbelievable, but that's the way it is in our world. Hey, did you watch any of the news this weekend? There's a lot of interesting news going on right now. We are watching that. Yeah, I love it when friends call in the middle of a broadcast. You gotta love that. Rudy Giuliani, did you see him over the weekend? He was on all the Sunday shows. He was on Dan Bongino's podcast. Overwhelming evidence is what he says he has to overturn the election. Sidney Powell, she's got the affidavits to overturn the election. Pretty amazing when you listen to what these two have to say. Now, Rudy Giuliani, until the Michael Flynn case, I had never really heard of Sidney Powell. I don't know if you had, but she's got a great reputation. But I never heard of her. Rudy Giuliani, everyone thinks of him as America's mayor, but do you know how he got his start, or not where he got his start, but where he got his fame? Yeah, he's the one that went after all of the major mafia families in New York City. He's the one that cleaned up New York. So he has an idea of what he's doing. Maybe he's doing it again with the Democrat Party. I just throw that out there to say that because it could be that he's got a lot of evidence, so he says, to prove fraud all over the place. Now, I listened to a couple of the others that were making commentary, and just think of common sense. Does it make sense that the Republican Party picks up seats in the House of Representatives, they hold the Senate, they pick up the state houses, yet everyone votes for Joe Biden? Does that make any sense to anybody? Yeah, I think there's just a few people that might have had that idea. Yeah, they might be the ones that are voting for that new plant out there in Colorado, but that just could be me. I'm watching some of these things. Unbelievable how people are still thinking that, you know, when you watch it, and there was a CNN report that actually showed the votes being changed. Fascinating if you watch that one. Now, you know, you're not going to see it on Facebook. You're not going to see it on Twitter, right? That's not their commentary, so they don't want you to see that kind of thing. It's not going to be there. But there are some, go to Rumble. You'll be able to find it on Rumble. That's they're actually letting people talk. Whether you believe it or not, they have their right for their belief, their personal opinions. Moving right along, let's see what else we've got in the news. Joe Biden's team urged the Trump administration to begin the transfer of power. Now, you know, this is an interesting concept. I've heard this over and over again since the election. Why haven't we seen something like this happen in the past? Well, it's very, very simple. Right? The media does not get to call the election. Why in the past does the media seem to have called the election and things stop? Well, because they look at the internal polling by the candidates, and one candidate or the other will concede. It's not the media that conceded, it's the candidate. Now, you got a thing right now where the Trump administration or President Trump and some others feel that he's been wrong, but how are we going to deal with this in the future if we don't litigate this right now. I just throw that out there for you. But we could be heading toward Norway. Think about this one. Now, we always like in the United States, we seem to say, from a social area, we need to follow what some of these Scandinavian countries are doing. Think about this one. I don't know if this probably won't make the lame street media, but I'm going to share it with you anyway, right here on Ron Siegel Radio. No, you cannot speak your mind in Norway. Think about this one. If you say something, even in your own house, private remarks that upset somebody else, well, in your own house, that's a 1-year term in jail. If you do it in public, it's 3 years in jail for just saying something that somebody doesn't like. Now, we've got all these snowflakes out there. Can you imagine how many people are going to be going to jail because of all of these different snowflakes? Just fascinates me watching these things. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. When we come back, it's the monthly market report. We're going to be chatting about that today. Why working from home may spark your next move. We've got that featured home today. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, it's 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter @Ron Siegel. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, shame on you. But the replay is available. Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We will be back in just a few.
Real Estate Radio is hosted by local real estate and finance expert Ron Siegel. The purpose of this show is to help consumers understand what's really going on in our local real estate market. We're teaching you the why and the how-to, so you'll always be one step ahead of everyone else. Whether you need to sell your home for top dollar, refinance and save money, or even buy a bargain in Southern California, Ron Siegel can help. Call Ron directly at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Take advantage of speaking with Ron anytime you're entering a real estate transaction. Having someone who can answer all of your questions that truly cares about you and your family's best interest is priceless. Call Ron Siegel today and you'll be glad you did. 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or you can visit realestateradio.com for more info.
Blue Water Credit Repair is the industry leader in fixing bad credit. Did you know a 40-point increase in your credit score can save you $40,000 on a home loan and $4,000 on a car loan? You deserve good credit and peace of mind. Take the first step today and go to bluewatercredit.com and register for a free consultation from one of their credit repair experts. That's bluewatercredit.com.
Trimming of your retirement does not include losing your house. However, due to today's lower stock market, higher medical bills, and taxes, many retirees face this very problem. This is why it is necessary that you, as a baby boomer considering retirement within the next 10 years, understand reverse mortgages and what one could do for you or your parents. A reverse mortgage could make it possible for you or your parents to travel, buy a second home, or start a new business. For more information about reverse mortgages, just call our off-air number at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990, or visit realestateradio.com and click the free workshop button.
Are you currently renting a home? Do you like paying someone else's mortgage payment? Why not explore the options to purchase your own home? Can you imagine a 30-year fixed rate below 3.5% APR? This means with $10,500, you can purchase a $300,000 home and have a principal and interest payment of about $1,300 per month. What are you paying in rent? Does your family deserve the opportunity to take advantage of the current market? To learn more about these exciting opportunities, the Siegel Lending Team is standing by to speak with you. Call now, 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed to NMLS ID 217037. Equal housing lender. Not endorsed or sponsored by any government agency.
Are you paying rent because you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you paying rent because you don't believe you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? At Siegel Lending Team at ronismylender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel Lending Team today at ronismylender.com. Again, ronismylender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037. ronismylender.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. 1990. Glad to have you with us, Alex. You're right. All that stuff I was talking about in the last segment, it does make sense to the free stuffers. Maybe they're all just stuffed. I don't know, but that's a different subject. I guess I better not divert too much. But let's take a look at what the markets are doing right now. What are they doing today? Dow Jones up 402 points. The NASDAQ is up 67. S&P 500 up 39. 10-year Treasury is up 1 basis point. The mortgage-backed security, that bond itself, is up 2 basis points. So why is all of that happening? We look at that for you because it's easy to go and find all the numbers, right? The basic numbers are pretty simple to just find those. They're out there. The marketplace will tell you every one of them. That super secret website, or maybe it is a little slanted website. I think they call it google.com. They've got some of that information. But let's take a look and see why all of this is happening. Again, as I mentioned earlier, Moderna interim trial shows 94.5% effectiveness, comes after extremely positive news from Pfizer that their vaccine showed more than 90% efficacy rate, encouraging to see that mortgage bonds are hanging in there. The question I ask, and maybe it's just me that's got this inquiring mind, right? In 7 months, Pfizer came up with a vaccine that's 90% effective. Moderna came up with 94.5% effective. And after decades, our flu shot is about 40% effective. Can somebody help me understand how that might be? Just throw that out there. We got some good information here. I forgot this one. Ivy Zellman reported that builders are building, think about this, 16% less homes than demand. So if they think that there's going to be a demand, just round numbers, for 100 homes, they're building 84. Why would that be? Going to make the housing market can stay tight. That's the idea. Continue to support solid appreciation going forward. Strong demand out there that 1/3 of the inventory is turning over every month. Wow. Many in the media believe that rates will be much higher next year. Ain't going to happen. We've said that while we think we could see a modest bump in rates near term due to inflation, we think rates are going to be very attractive next year. And the Fed, they've been mostly buying the 2% coupon. Think about that. Now, that's getting into the weeds a little bit, which bond they're buying. They're buying the 2% bond. Don't worry about that. But now they're starting to buy the 1.5% bond. So that means the Fed is seeing that rates are going to stay low for quite a while. It's a housing-centric week. The National Association of Home Builders Market Index report comes out. Housing starts. Existing home sales all due this week. And we're going to be paying attention to the traffic component of the National Association of Home Builders report. 20-year bond auction on Wednesday. The latest 10-year and 30-year auctions were weak. And that's all the information you need from the Mortgage Minute, brought to you by our friends at Gold Star Mortgage. When you're ready for that next mortgage, Gold Star has the programs and the products. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Every month about this time, we have an opportunity to chat with our friend Mary Walters. Comes in. Good morning.
Good morning.
Chatting about the real estate market, what's showing in the world right now, according to some of the sources that we see. So my team gets this report, and I share it, obviously, but these reports are all national. So what we want to do is see what's happening in the local world, not the loco world, but the local world. So the first chart that we brought up here was the 2020 monthly market report, major financial institutions calling for a rapid V-type recovery. So we are seeing that right now, but the question is in the real world are we seeing people getting back out? And you said that you did see a lot of people going out over the weekend.
Yes.
Right? I eat a lot, so I go out a lot. And there's one of the restaurants right here in North Orange County. And they probably put umbrellas outside. And there's hundreds of people in these umbrellas, and they're closer than you and I are to each other.
Mm-hmm.
You seen the same thing?
Yeah, that's how it was when I went to a brewery over the weekend. I mean, people were packed, nobody wearing masks. I mean, it was back to normal.
So do you think, I know the old people, some of them are out there doing some crazy stuff and hibernating and whatnot. Younger folks are saying, you know something, we're going to continue to do, just going to live our life. And if we get sick, we're going to recover.
I mean, it's not just younger people too. I think it's also the older generation. I think there's people on both sides. I mean, I see people on the left who are just hunkering down. I see people on the left who are saying, oh, well, go out and live your life. I see people on the right who are hunkering down. I see people on the right who are saying, just go out and live your life. I think everybody, it doesn't matter whether left or right, has a different opinion. And most of it is just, hey, be socially responsible.
That's the whole, why don't people want to do that?
Just take responsibility for yourself, and I think we'll all be okay.
Isn't that amazing? I mean, when you really think about it, we get kind of carried away with this idea. I mean, I heard this morning, Dr. Fauci says, even with a vaccine, we got to wear masks. What are we trying to accomplish? Right? I mean, we're going to get out there. If you're sick, stay home. Right? If you've got comorbidities, protect yourself. But, if you're healthy, if you're young, if you're strong, are you going to skip Thanksgiving and skip Christmas and skip Hanukkah and skip New Year? I don't think it's going to happen.
No.
That's not. Let's take a look. News stories often describe the coronavirus-induced global economic downturn as the worst since the Great Depression, yet for many, the comparison does more to terrify than clarify. And I would say early on, my experience is the same, right? March, April, May, people were just scared to death.
Yes.
Right, and I think, and maybe the hunkering down at that point made a lot of sense because we were all so ignorant.
Yeah, there was so much unknown.
Right, now I think that people are starting to get to the point of saying, something, we understand this, we have to respect it.
Mm-hmm.
Right, I mean, I respect pneumonia. I don't want to go out. Many of us stopped smoking, right? I never did smoke, but many people stopped smoking because we learned about it,
mm-hmm.
right? I mean, you listen to our parents' ages, and it was very common for people to smoke, not wear seatbelts,
mm-hmm.
right? It's not the case anymore. We've learned.
Yep.
Right? This time it just didn't take us 30 or 40 years to learn. We did it in about 3 or 4 months. Just throw that out there for you. Let's see what else we've got continuing on with our news. Average U.S. FICO score going up. April of 2019, it was 706. July of 2020, 711. Why would that be?
I'm going to assume that people are not spending as much on their credit cards.
Yeah.
Got nervous.
Yeah, well, they got nervous, and there's a great deal of people that got stimulus checks,
mm-hmm.
right? What do they do with the stimulus check? They go and pay off debt because they didn't know what the future was going to bring.
Yep.
Right, so you look back, and obviously this report was from as of July, so it was still early on in what some of us say was the knowledge base. And so if you got your stimulus check, and I know a lot of people, maybe, I don't know if you do, Mary, that folks that basically went and applied for the mortgage forgiveness program
mm-hmm.
and never used it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know people that were in that boat?
I don't know a lot of people personally, but it's something that you and I talked about last time I was on the show.
Yeah, so people are doing that and then didn't need to use it, but they just didn't know what they didn't know. I mean, so isn't it prudent then to do that? Households use most of their stimulus checks to pay down debt. 35% paid down debt, 29% spent the money, 36% saved the money. Now, if you have debt and you save the money, you might be paying interest on something that you're not getting any interest in the bank. So I kind of got ahead of myself on some of these information. Business applications in the United States. We're going to move right along here. Change in consumer spending since January 1 of 20. Consumer spending in California down 8.2%. I would love to see, because on this chart that we're looking at shows Florida is down 2.1%, and they're wide open right now. Right? There's no masks, no social distancing. Go to school, get educated, go to work. So the U.S. as a whole down 3.7%, California down 8.2%. Were you one of the people that like to go into Los Angeles? I mean, I know a lot of young people.
I hate LA.
Okay. You know what I'm saying?
It's crowded. It's dirty. The only reason I would ever go there is Staples Center if there's an event going on.
Okay. So yeah, a lot of people. I mean, I know a lot of young people that say, it's the nightlife of Los Angeles. That's not your world.
No.
So
I'm to bed by 8:30 type of person.
Okay. So Los Angeles is pretty much shut. I mean, I have a friend of mine that's had a apartment in Los Angeles, lives in Newport Beach, but had an apartment in LA. He said you can't even go out to eat in Los Angeles. Right? It's all locked up. Orange County, we're somewhat normal. Riverside, I saw they just closed Riverside, probably because Gavin Newsom thinks that we need to. I don't get it. Northern California, they're probably locked up because it's Northern California. But think about some of these areas. I mean, if the state is closed, consumer spending should be down, unless you're trying to buy toilet paper. Let's take a look also at the BLS weekly unemployment filings. So we've been talking about this every single week. 6.9 million back at the end of March filed for unemployment. First week of April, 6.6 million. Then we went to 5.2 million on April 11th, 4.4 million. But now we're at 750,000 people filing weekly unemployment claims. Do you see people filing, having that need? I mean, we're in Orange County. Obviously the biggest problem I think we have is the theme parks, right, and conventions area. Right? It's killing Orange County.
Oh yeah.
Right. I mean, and for what reason? I mean, you think about that. Disney, every park in the world is open, and I don't think they've had one confirmed case of COVID. But Anaheim were closed.
Yeah.
Craziness. I mean, that's just the report. Currently receiving unemployment insurance, maxed out at 24.9 million. Now we're at 7.3 million. We don't wish unemployment on anybody, right? We're out there working and hoping that everyone gets their jobs, does some good stuff. Is the unemployment, are you seeing that affecting housing? Do you see people coming into the market because they're unemployed wanting to sell a house?
I mean, I've seen some of our agents, yes, have had that situation where a couple of people needed to. Or there's also the situation where people who they're just moving out of state. They turn their house into a rental, just move out of state and go get a job elsewhere because of everything going on. So
that's an interesting concept. So going out of state because the work is easier, or finding work is easier.
Yeah, they lost their job there, so they moved out of state. They didn't sell their house. They decided to just keep it as a rental, and they moved to Arizona or wherever.
Interesting. That's a new one. I hadn't heard that one before. We're going to continue our conversation. Mary Walters, Realty Pro 100, is with us, talking about the monthly market report from the old man and from the millennial. We've got all that information for you. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. On Twitter, @Ron Siegel. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
We're here with Ron Siegel, the host of Real Estate Radio. Ron, welcome to the studio. Give us insight as to what your show is all about.
Hi, Eric. Thanks for having me. Thanks for asking me that question. The reason we developed Real Estate Radio is right now there is an abundance of misinformation out there. So Real Estate Radio is a show designed to give Southern California a focal point for their real estate knowledge, as well as a place to go just in case they might need anything real estate related.
So how are you helping people?
That's actually pretty simple. People need advice. So it really doesn't matter who you are. If you have any real estate questions, we're here to help. Whether you're buying a home, selling, you're experiencing a loan modification, short sale, foreclosure, there are a lot of things going on in this marketplace.
How can people get a hold of you?
Real easy. All you have to do is call. The number is 1-800-306-1990. Press option 1.
Interesting times in the market right now. Where do you think the markets are going from here?
That's a great question. All I can say is this. The housing market came down one house at a time, and what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to build it one house, one family at a time. So the best thing that anyone can do is access the free advice that we really want to give you. And to do that, you simply need to call me. The number is 1-800-306-1990, option 1. I'd really love to help.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Are you paying rent because you think you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you renting because you don't believe that you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? The Siegel lending team at ronismylender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel lending team today at ronismylender.com. Again, ronismylender.com, license under NMLS 217037. ronismylender.com.
Are you currently renting a home? Do you like paying someone else's mortgage payment? Why not explore the options to purchase your own home? Can you imagine a 30-year fixed rate below 3.5% APR? This means with $10,500, you can purchase a $300,000 home and have a principal and interest payment of about $1,300 per month. What are you paying in rent? Does your family deserve the opportunity to take advantage of the current market? To learn more about these exciting opportunities, the Siegel Lending Team is standing by to speak with you. Call now, 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed to NMLS ID 217037. Equal housing lender. Not endorsed or sponsored by any government agency.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Why working from home may spark your next move. Why do I sound like I'm in an echo chamber? Am I the only one that sounds? Does it sound like it's an echo chamber?
A little bit.
Yeah, maybe. Well, I don't know what's going on. We'll figure this out somehow, some way. But why working from home may spark your next move. If you've been working from home this year, chances are you've been at it a little longer than you initially expected. Businesses all over the country have figured out how to operate remotely to keep their employees healthy, safe, and productive. For many, it may be carrying into next year and possibly beyond. While the pandemic continues, Americans are reevaluating their homes, floor plans, locations, needs, and more. Some need more space while others need less. Whether you're renting or own your home, if your remote work is part of your future, you may be thinking about moving, especially while today's mortgage rates are so low. A recent study from Upwork notes, quote, anywhere from 14 to 23 million Americans are planning to move as a result of remote work, unquote. Put this into perspective, last year, 6 million homes were sold in the U.S. This means roughly 2 to 4 times as many people are considering moving now, and there's a direct connection to their ability to work from home. The same study also notes, while 45.3% of the people are planning to stay within a 2-hour drive from their current location, 41.5% of the people who are citing working from home as their primary reason for making a move are willing to look for a home more than 4 hours away from where they live now. Let's see, if I was in Los Angeles, 4 hours puts me in Palm Desert. It might be a little too hot there for me. San Diego, maybe. So we've got a chart if you're watching us on RonSiegelRadio.tv, any of our socials, or the ABC News and Talk KMET AM 1490 video feed. You can see a chart that we're sharing right now. How far away are you considering a move? More than 4 hours, 41.5%. Between 2 to 4 hours, 13.2. Within 2 hours, 21.1. And a few minutes, 24.2. So someone wants a bigger house or a smaller house in that case. In some cases, moving a little further away from your current location might mean you can get more home for your money. If you have the opportunity to work remotely, you may have more options available by expanding your search. Upwork also indicates of those surveyed, quote, people are seeking less expensive housing. Altogether, more than half, 52.5%, are planning to move to a house that is significantly more affordable than their current home, unquote. Whether you can eliminate your daily commute to the office or you simply need more space to work from home, your plans may be changing. If that's the case, it's time to connect with a local real estate professional, one right here, to assess your evolving needs and determine your path. Bottom line, been a challenging year. I don't think anybody is going to question that. And what you need in a home may be changing as well. Give us a call. We'll talk to you about what might help you, what might benefit you. Out of that report, I'm going to ask you, that's the real-time real estate segment. I guess I should tell you that. But Mary, out of that report, I was kind of surprised when I heard that report that 52.5% of the people are planning to move to a house significantly more affordable.
Well, again, a lot of people are realizing that they can work from home, and offices are getting rid of the old brick and mortar thing and just moving everybody to home permanently. So, I mean, if you can work from home and go get cheaper housing somewhere, it makes fiscal sense to do so.
Yeah, it does make a lot of sense. I was just kind of surprised because, maybe it's because of my mentality or lack thereof, right? But I'm always looking and saying, I want to get a bigger house, a nicer house, which usually means it's more expensive. Doesn't necessarily mean it's less affordable, especially with interest rates where they are. But that report seems to indicate people are actually looking to downsize in many instances.
Well, I mean, at the same time, if you do have people who are very concerned about the pandemic going on, maybe they do want to downsize just to save the money. They're realizing, why am I paying for such a big thing that I really don't need?
So that's a good point. So people are kind of what you're saying there.
Where they can.
Yeah, they're evaluating what's really important at this time, what their needs are at this time, which makes a lot of sense to me. I guess I'm weird. I'm the first to admit that I'm a little bit, maybe a lot different. But we move on. Let's take a look at what else we've got in our monthly market report. Data from the survey of business uncertainty suggests that the road forward is going to be a tough slog. Businesses hold tepid expectations for the year ahead. Employment and sales growth expectations are, in fact, so tepid that, based on the latest average projection, it will take firms more than 4.5 years to recover their pre-COVID employment levels. That's according to the Federal Reserve Bank. Well, one thing that I can take out of that one is I've gone to the Chapman University economic forecast many years, and they generally say that the Federal Reserve gets all these things wrong. Right? So it's the way it is. I mean, a couple of years ago, they were really upset because their projection for GDP was the same as the Fed. And they said, well, the Fed always gets it wrong, so we don't want to be the same as them, but that's where their model came out. But people not working, I mean, everyone that I know of that isn't working is really anxious to get back to work as soon as the government gets out of the way.
Yep.
So you see the same thing?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so it's not just in my little bubble here. The number of mortgages in active forbearance decreased dramatically. Now, Mary, you and I have talked about this, and Blake from your office and I chatted about this a couple of weeks ago. But we're not really seeing a lot of foreclosure activity.
No.
You're not seeing that either?
No.
So, and I think we've talked to you, as a company, having a good year this year. So is it people that just the desire to move? Is it the investment or the ability to build wealth? How do you attribute so many people wanting to move right now?
Well, I think everything, honestly. I mean, there's a lot that goes into it. Everybody has different motive. I mean, we do push wealth building a lot here. So that's number one. There's a lot of people in our firm who are building wealth themselves right now, and they're going out and taking advantage of the lower interest rates and getting into like duplexes and fourplexes and such, and building their portfolio of investments. And then we do have the people who need to move right now because of everything going on, or want to move and want to get out of California, or need to downsize or upsize or whatnot. So
it's a whole combination.
Yeah, there's a whole combination, but I mean, lower interest rates, I mean, it's going to drive that for a long time.
And that's the whole idea right there. And so from an older perspective, many of us at my age group, we don't have a whole lot of years left to build wealth as far as for retirement. Younger people, do you look at it that saying, something, instead of buying a flat or a condo or a small single family, I'll look to a duplex or a triplex?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think that's a great investment. I mean, I bought my first condo 3 years ago, and it's always been my mentality that it's not where I want to be forever, but that is going to be my first rental. And as soon as I can, I'm going to go out and buy my next one and turn that one into a rental. And then when I need to upgrade again, I'll go out, buy my next one and turn that house into a rental.
So that's an interesting concept. So you're doing it all through your own property, primary residence, as opposed to going and saying, okay, I'm going to keep this one and I'm going to go buy a rental. You're saying, hey, I like this property. Now, I can tell you this from personal experience, sometimes that's difficult because the renter doesn't take care of your property like you do. But it's a great philosophy right there. So overall forbearances, they are decreasing. People are starting to make their payments again. Again, that's national. In Calizuela, it may not be happening because the governor still wants us to stay shut down, even though it fascinates me. You take twice as many tests. So we went from 800,000 tests a day to 1.6 million tests a day. Do you think you're going to have less cases by when you take that many more tests? I just throw that out there for you. 5,760,000 families granted forbearance. This is what happened upon the expiration of the plan. 2.4 million forbearance extended, 2.3 million removed while performing, 500,000 paid off the mortgage. I guess they must have won the lottery. 481,000 expired delinquent and loss mitigation, 80,000 expired delinquent. So that 44% in the middle, removed while performing or paid off the mortgage. Paid off the mortgage. I kid about that. They won the lottery. They probably sold their house, right? I mean, they just sold the house. They went on to something more suitable. And as you mentioned, maybe they're moving out of the area to a place where they're actually open and they get a job.
Or maybe they knew they weren't going to be able to pay it back and wanted to avoid foreclosure.
Yeah, that's a great point, because we've talked about that before, that so many people have equity. That why not just pay off the property, takes the equity, and do what you want with it. Maybe even sit on the sidelines until you've got a secure job that you're happy with. Makes a lot of sense. Likelihood of the U.S. having a foreclosure crisis again is about 0%, according to Heidi Zellman, and she's done a great job, her and her team, at forecasting real estate for many years. So likelihood of us having a foreclosure crisis, 0. Do you see the same?
Yeah. I mean, I think in the beginning, there was a lot of unknowns. So everyone just assumed that everyone taking forbearances were going to foreclose. But like we've talked about, people took it out of caution and they didn't really need it. So,
which is smart. Right?
Definitely.
Monthly inventory of homes for sale, we're at 2.7 months. That's about as low as I've seen. Well, I guess you go back a year and it's the lowest in a year. So the houses are selling real quick. So we talked with Simon Polito last week about auctions of houses. But I wonder, do you think people they're selling so quickly that are they getting full price? Are they getting above asking price? What are you seeing?
I'm seeing a lot more above than anything else.
Are they priced too cheap? Well, obviously they're too cheap, but are they priced below market to attract a bidding war, or are they priced where they should be and still attracting a bidding war?
I wouldn't say anything's cheap in California.
That's true.
But I think it's priced right where it needs to be. There's a lot of homes that are going above appraised value right now, and buyers are bringing in the cash where they need to.
Okay, interesting.
And it's really, in this market, it's what you have to do if you're really serious about getting into a home.
So that would just bring me to a point that I make on a regular basis. A lot of people say it's just because of what I do. But if you really want to win that bid, you've probably seen a lot of people losing bids too.
Oh yeah. There's people who are, getting really frustrated out there because they put in offer after offer after offer and they just keep getting outbid. So
here's the issue with that. If you don't have a great real estate professional guiding you, and you taking that guidance, that's probably more important, right? The real estate professional can tell you anything that, it makes sense. But if you ignore them, it's not going to do any good. So if they tell you that a property is listed at $500,000, but it's worth $600,000, no one's really looking at the idea of giving away $100,000.
Yep.
Right? It's someone strategically priced it that way with the intent that it's going to go above. And if you really want to win that bid, you better listen to your agent.
Yep.
Great information. We're going to continue our conversation on the monthly market report. When we come back, year-over-year change in listings. We'll talk about that. We've got the featured home coming up, all that and more. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. On Twitter at Ron Siegel. If you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams, or simply where you think you can afford? Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Do you have a goal of mortgage-free home ownership? What if your home was valued at $500,000? Are you aware that a free and clear home could be costing you $2,500 every month, $30,000 per year? The mortgage planners at the Siegel Lending Team would like to show you how you can own your home, generate tax-free income, and accumulate family wealth. You simply need to call Ron Siegel at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. By sending the team a copy of your most recent mortgage statement, the team will send you a no-obligation mortgage adoption plan. You be the judge if it's right for your family. Again, all you have to do is send the team a copy of your mortgage statement by email to map@ronsiegelradio.com or call today Ron Siegel 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporation and MLS 217037 and BCalBRE number 018694452.
Are you paying rent because you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you paying rent because you don't believe you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? At Siegel Lending Team at ronismylender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel Lending Team today at ronismylender.com. Again, ronismylender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037. ronismylender.com.
Do you believe Southern California real estate is a great investment? Are you a little short to be a cash investor? Are you missing the Social Security card or tax returns? The Siegel Lending Team has the loans for you. Common Sense Lending is back. Yes, there's a cost to higher risk, but the reward can be great. Call today for details. 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations and MLS 217037 and DRE number 1869452.
Are you currently renting a home? Do you like paying someone else's mortgage payment? Why not explore the options to purchase your own home? Can you imagine a 30-year fixed rate below 3.5% APR? This means with $10,500, you can purchase a $300,000 home and have a principal and interest payment of about $1,300 per month. What are you paying in rent? Does your family deserve the opportunity to take advantage of the current market? To learn more about these exciting opportunities, the Siegel Lending Team is standing by to speak with you. Call now, 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed to NMLS ID 217037. Equal housing lender. Not endorsed or sponsored by any government agency.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The featured home segment today being brought to you by MySoCalLender.com, MySoCalLender.com, 3445 Rancho Rio Bonita Road, Covina. Homes brought to you by Renee Whitman, 4 bedrooms, 2 full, 1 half, and 1 3/4 bath. Holy cow, you have to do math to figure all that stuff out. Custom built rambling ranch. Sounds like I'm rambling. Single story on a huge lot in the Covina Hills. City light view, could be panoramic if you trim some trees. 4 spacious bedrooms. 4 bath, 3,217 square feet. Lot size is 36,350. Lot is flat and level for the most part. I wonder what that means. They're in an area in the far back that slopes, also zoned for horses. 3-car garage plus RV, 2 spaces enter from the front. 1 garage enters from the back. Home needs a little updating. Oh, it's one of those from the 70s. Maybe they got the green carpet. And let's take a look at the pricing. $1,150,000, 5% down. Your payment, $6,395 a month. 10% down, $6,002 a month. 20% down, $5,197 a month. And yes, to keep the compliance people happy, I will tell you 3.275 APR, 3.175 APR, and 2.975 APR, NMLS 217037. That's the featured home today, brought to you by MySoCalLender.com. When you're ready for the next project, check them out, MySoCalLender. They've got all the information. It's great information there for you. Just go onto that website, check it out. So we're continuing our conversation. We are chatting. Mary Walters, Realty Pro 100, is in the house. chatting about the monthly market report. I get this report every month, and we share it from the old man's perspective and from the millennial perspective. And Mary also happens to be an expert in the real estate world, so she brings both sides here to help us out. Year-over-year change in listings. So that's another interesting. Total listings, new listings. Looks like we're way down on listings. Are you seeing the same thing as well?
Yep, and that just goes right back to what we were just talking about, where, I mean, buyers are having to place so many offers in their homes and everyone's getting outbid because the demand is just outweighing what's out there.
Yeah, that's a tough one. And I bet one of the biggest challenges the agents have is going out there and telling people, hey, either make a realistic offer, but don't get discouraged, right? Because you've got to really write that and make that offer compelling, right? I mean, price-wise, terms-wise, contingencies, a lot of. Are you going back to, what was it, 3-4 years ago when every buyer was writing that sympathy letter?
Yeah. I mean, it helps though. Right. I mean, it really helps getting writing a letter. So just having the buyer write a letter on why they love the house, why they want the house, a little bit of background about themselves. I think it goes a long way with, touching the seller's heart and playing with their emotions and touching their emotions.
And that's important because, I tell people all the time that when you're ready to sell a house, it's like getting divorced, right? It's no longer your home, it's an asset. But that letter brings them right back to it being a home again.
Exactly. Like it's their home, they live there, they, raise their children there. So getting a letter, with a family, a new mom and this and that, and seeing like, okay, well, this is going to be their home. They're going to raise their family here.
Right. Yeah, it helps.
It helps a lot.
Top 3 reasons homeowners are not putting their house on the market. Not 31% financial uncertainty, 34% life is too uncertain right now, 25% COVID-19 health concerns. Yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, if you're not going to put your house on the market, well, financial concerns and life is uncertain. I don't know when life is ever certain.
Yeah, I wouldn't really say those are great reasons. I mean, the number one time when someone's going to sell a house is when they need to sell.
Right.
COVID be damned. Like if they need to sell the house, they're going to sell the house.
Yeah, if they've got to do it, you've got to take action. Homeowners who feel life is uncertain right now may think they can still get a strong price if they delay selling until they have more clarity. The catch is that waiting to sell may raise the cost of a trade-up. This fall's record low mortgage rates, which make a trade-up more affordable on a monthly basis, are not guaranteed to last. What is guaranteed to last? Right, I mean, I love some of these things. This comes from the economist at Zillow, right? I mean, do we know anything that's guaranteed in the future?
COVID.
Yeah, it's crazy. So, and the price is going to get better. Now we're in Southern Calizuela, right? And 30 years ago, I had an accountant that said to me, if you make the worst mistake in real estate, hold it an extra 5 years, right? So your first recession, we've talked about it before, was the 2008 recession. Prices dropped dramatically. Are they above where they were then or below where they were then?
Oh, they're above.
Right? So that's 10 years ago. So they've already come all the way back and more. So if you're going to wait, I only have one real estate. I've talked to thousands of real estate agents. One agent only told me when the best time to sell is. One only. He said, your house will be more valuable 3,000 years from now than it is today. Probably true, right? If you wait 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, go back to what Mary said earlier, right? When you need to sell, sell. When it's best for your family, when it's best for your situation, when it's best for your finances. Take action. Home price appreciation. So there again, if you're worried about where home prices are going. Now, CoreLogic is usually a really, really good source, right? And they say 0.2%. I'm going to say that I think that they might have been smoking something when they came up with this, right? I don't think that a 0.2% is logical in today's market, that's what we're going to see. You in the same boat?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the one that I think is the best survey of all of them, the Home Price Expectation Survey. Why do I like the Home Price Expectation Survey best? Well, it's their methodology, right? So they take and survey over 100 economists that are either in real estate or in banking or in economics or in education. Put all those numbers together, averaged out 3.7%. Does it surprise anybody that the average over the last 50, 60 years is 3.6%?
No.
Right? So we're right on the norm. So prices are going to continue going up. Home affordability. Think about, there's another one. Do you hear people say that homes, we hear it on the news a lot, right? That homes are more or less affordable. Are you hearing that on the street though?
I'm sorry, what? I think about it, I was like, wait, what?
For a convoluted
I have
question.
not had enough coffee today.
So do you hear people talking about that that the homes are less affordable than they were 2 months ago, 3 months ago, 4 months ago?
I mean, it's about the same.
Okay. Prices are up. Interest is down. Right? The biggest component of every home payment is interest rates.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So if interest rates go down, you can have the price go up.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to matter a whole lot. So if you look at the Home Affordability Index, 1990 today, the only time that we saw homes being more affordable on the charts is during the Great Recession. And that's when we had all the distressed properties. Do you want distressed properties again? I don't think any of us want to go back to those days. Good news is that affordability remains significantly higher than 1 year ago, mostly due to falling rates. 1 month does not make a trend. But this month's decline in affordability signals that the current dynamics producing faster house price appreciation and may begin to erode the gain. So basically, basic economics 101. Right? We've got so many people out there looking. We just talked about the report that came out that the National Association of Home Builders says we're not going to get more houses. Right? They're building 14% less. Prices have to go up.
Yep.
Great time to be buying real estate. And if you want some assistance, give me a call, 800-306-1990. I'll put you in touch with Mary Walters and her team to help you with that new home. And as always, I ask, set that first radio preset button to come back here every day and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to John and Sean who are engineering us today. And of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime. 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990 or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.
Tides that I tried to swim against.